In 1325, a young Moroccan scholar named Ibn Battuta set out on what he thought would be a short pilgrimage to Mecca. Instead, it became a breathtaking 29-year odyssey filled with shipwrecks, kidnappings, royal encounters, political intrigues, and even survival during the Black Death. By the time he returned home in 1354, Ibn Battuta had transformed his experiences into the Rihla, one of the greatest travelogues in history. 7 centuries later, he remains celebrated as one of the Islamic world's greatest adventurers, traveling more than 120,000 kilometers on horseback, camel, donkey, wagon, and ship. He covered more ground than almost any pre-modern traveler. It was a miracle he managed to complete his travels at all. He notes Ross E. Dunn, historian and author of The Adventures of Ibn Battuta. Battuta faced countless dangers, getting lost in the Arabian desert, caught in a snowstorm in Anatolia, kidnapped by bandits, wounded by an arrow, and shipwrecked off the Indian coast. He narrowly escaped execution at the hands of the Sultan of Delhi, was entangled in a plot against a Maldivian queen, and endured serious illnesses. Remarkably, he continued his journeys even during the Black Death, a plague that killed over 75 million people. Ibn Battuta's adventures began with the most sacred journey for Muslims, the Hajj to Mecca. At just 21, he left Tangier not by sea but overland, riding a donkey along the North African coast. By the time he reached Egypt, he was so captivated by travel that he vowed to dedicate his life to exploration. In Tunisia, he joined a caravan of pilgrims. Coming from a distinguished family of Muslim legal scholars, he deepened his knowledge through debates on religion and law along the way. This thirst for learning, as much as his love for travel, would drive his explorations for the next 3 decades. In Syria, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia, Battuta studied with leading Islamic scholars, enhancing his reputation. His family background and growing expertise opened doors to royal courts, where he served as both judge and advisor. By 1334, he reached India, then under the Delhi Sultanate. Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq welcomed him, appointing him as a qadi, judge, and granting him wealth and influence. Yet life at court was perilous. Battuta barely escaped execution due to his ties with a controversial Sufi mystic. When the Sultan sent him as an emissary to China in 1341, his caravan was ambushed. Ships sank and plans collapsed. Still, Battuta pressed on, visiting Sri Lanka, the Maldives, where he became entangled in palace politics, and eventually China, where his stay was relatively calm. In 1349, he finally returned to Morocco amid the devastation of the Black Death. Yet his wanderlust persisted. In his last years of travel, he visited Mali and even ventured into Spain, before settling down to dictate his Rihla. According to Dunn, Ibn Battuta's writings remain unmatched in scope and detail. He provided vivid first-hand accounts of the Golden Horde north of the Black Sea, the Delhi Sultanate in India, the Mali Empire in West Africa, and life across the Islamic world during the Plague years. His chronicles also highlight Islam's vast reach in the 14th century, revealing a thriving cultural world system sustained by networks of scholars, merchants, diplomats, and Sufi missionaries. Far from being in decline, as some outdated narratives suggest, Muslim societies were dynamic and expanding in West Africa, South Asia, Central Asia, and beyond. Despite his extraordinary achievements, Ibn Battuta has often been overshadowed in the West by figures like Marco Polo. His work only reached Western audiences in the mid-19th century, long after Polo had become a household name. Even within the Middle East, he remains underappreciated. Apart from a museum and research center in Morocco, little institutional recognition exists. As Professor Ibrahim Musa of Notre Dame observes, this is a missed opportunity. His Rihla is more than a travelogue. It is a window into the lived experience of Islamic cosmopolitanism in the 14th century. Forgetting Ibn Battuta is to forget a vital part of our global history. As historian Ibn Khaldun once warned, civilizations that lose touch with their own history risk decline. To honor Ibn Battuta is not merely to celebrate a remarkable traveler, but to reclaim a shared global heritage and to carry it forward with renewed vision.